ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah, we'll chant from 10 onwards. रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय
रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय
सत्वं भवति भारत।
सत्वं भवति भारत।
रजसत्वं तमश्चैव
रजः सत्वं तमश्चैव
तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
तमः सत्वं रजस्तथा
सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन्
सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन्
प्रकाश उपजायते।
प्रकाश उपजायते।
ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात्
ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात्
विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत।
विवृद्धं सत्त्वमुच्यते।
लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः
लोभ प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः
कर्मणामशमस्पृहा
कर्मणामशमस्पृहा
रजस्येतानि जायन्ते
रजस्येतानि जायन्ते
विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ।
विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ।
अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च
अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च
प्रमादो मोह एव च।
प्रमादो मोह एव च।
तमस्येतानि जायन्ते
तमस्येतानि जायन्ते
विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन।
विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन।
यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु
यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु
प्रलयं याति देहभृत्।
प्रलयं याति देहभृत्।
तदोत्तमविदां लोकान्
तदोत्तमविदां लोकान्
अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते।
अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते।
रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा
रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा
कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते।
कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते।
तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि
तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि
मूढयोनिषु जायते.
मूढयोनिषु जायते.
We need to resume with 16. कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः
कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः
सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम्.
सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम्.
रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्.
रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्.
अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः
कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः
सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम्.
सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम्.
रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्.
रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्.
अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्.
Yeah. Five aspects of the three gunas were explained by Sri Krishna from the 6th shloka onwards. The first two aspects are what is the definition of guna, lakshanam, and bandhana prakara. In what way a guna binds a person. So, lakshanam, bandhana prakara, those first two. Then, then lingam. How do I know? Lingam, indicators of self-assessment. That's called lingam. So that was said in shloka 11, 12, and 13. Then pralayam yati. What happens to a person of a particular disposition? After death, what happens to that person? And that is called gatihi. Gatihi. So that was said in 14 and 15. And now 16 and 17, he's going to talk about the phalam. What is the benefit or what is the consequence of having a particular guna in my life now? That's called phalam. Phalam of the gunam. Triguna phalam is going to be talked about now in shloka number 16. So he is saying, karmanaha sukritasya ahuhu satvikam nirmalam phalam. So here, sukritasya karmana. Sukritasya. Sukrita here refers to a person with a sattvika disposition. Sattvika pradhana purushasya. Okay, that is the meaning of the word sukritasya. It's one who has that sattvika disposition. And for that person, whatever that person does, karmana, the actions of that person, what kind of things that person will get. And here Krishna again uses the same words. Satvikam nirmalam phalam. Satvikam nirmalam phalam. The phalam, the result, the person gets. Satvikam phalam, he is using the same word, satvikam. Means things that are beneficial to the person from the point of view of clarity, thinking, decision making, decisiveness, clarity about what one wants to do in life. All that will be there for that person. And so the same, the calmness and tranquility and so forth will be maintained. And nirmalam, he says, nirmalam. Malam means agitation, impurity, disturbance, trauma. So unnecessary emotional trauma, all that is malam. And the emotional trauma doesn't mean, see, somebody passes away at home doesn't mean it's emotional trauma. Passing away is part of life. And so that's not correct to be connected with emotional trauma. Emotional trauma, if I take it hard on myself, then that's called emotional trauma. Every house, everything is going to happen. And so the Satvika person somehow, you won't have all those experiences. No, that person also will have all experience. But the person will take things in a stride. Okay? And so, Satvikam Nirmalam Phalam. So there is harmony at home. And then Rajasastu Phalam Dukkham. Rajas. So again, we know Rajas is that which creates that dynamism, creates that activity, creates the desire to go and accomplish things. Okay, that is called Rajas. And he says here, a person with Rajas will gain Dukkham. Will gain Dukkham. Material prosperity can be there. Rajas, material prosperity will be there because the person is not going to keep quiet. And so the person is not going to be in the streets. Okay, and but then the house is there and the house is not a home yet. The house is there, people are coming and going, and nobody knows when the other person is coming and having food and what kind of food we are having. Nobody knows. People open the refrigerator and then take something out, then put it in the microwave, get it out, and then do something, and then go off to their own rooms, and then life goes on. Life goes on. And so that's a house. That's there's no need to, people can rent, like they rent. When we used to live as graduate students, four of us used to come. We used to rent a house, and we used to live like that. But we used to have a good life. But this thing is worse than that, possibly. Okay, and so to come phalam, there is always some anxiety. There is stress. There is because lack of understanding, clarity is not there, and so there is always some instability will be there. This life is going on. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, like that. Then ajnanam tamasah phalam. Then this tamas pradhana purushasya karmana phalam. What kind of things that person does? Well, whatever that person does, that person is not going to improve the person's status of just that lethargy, dullness, confusion is going to be there. And so he's saying here, ajnanam is the phalam. Ajnanam. Nothing has improved. At least government programs are there that one can take advantage of. No, that also not interested in knowing. Nothing. Nothing happens. Just keep doing, keep doing nothing if possible. And so that kind of a family, if there is a family, that kind of a family will be struggling constantly. Strife, constant strife will be there. So that jantunam narajanma durlabham is said. Well, that's completely wasted now. There is no question of even recognizing that this human birth is such a precious birth, can be used properly. And so here Babaji says, Ajnanam phalam. Ajnanam is the result. Well, you can't produce ajnanam. Ajnanam is always there. Ignorance is always there. So it's not like jnanam is produced, but it's perpetuated. Nothing is done. Nothing is done to improve oneself. Even the selfish ideas, let me do something, let me make some money idea also is not there. So, Pashuriva, Pashu. Shastram uses the word Pashu, like an animal. And which means what? This is not a judgment. This is a wake up call. This is a wake up call for all of us too. And we also have these tendencies. And so it's for us, we can assess ourselves and do what it takes. For example, see, uh, sometimes what happens? We take some foods because somebody said it's good for you, etc. And so we take. But turns out that food makes us sleepy, and but it's nutritious. Well, if it's nutritious but it makes you sleepy, then you're welcome to find an alternate for that nutrition, and don't take this food that makes you sleepy. Okay? Because when you're not supposed to sleep, there's no need to sleep. You can use the time properly. Shastram, Shravanam, so much is there to do. And so it's all right. Find an alternative to that. So think like that, think a little different. And so we can use all this advice. So let's look at the translation. So here the ahuhu, there is a word called ahuhu in the first line. Ahuhu means they say, they say. And Krishna doesn't say who says. And Bhagavan Bhashikara says, Shishtaha, he says. Shishtaha means those who have studied the Shastram. That is the meaning of Shishtaha. Vidvamsaha, wise people, they say. All right. So let's translate. Learned people say that learned people say that the result for the good action done, the result for the proper action done is connected to sattva, is connected to sattva and is pure. And pure within brackets, a result that is free from any distress. Connected to sattva and is pure, namely a result that is free from any distress. Full stop. But pain is a result of rajas. But pain is the result of rajas, and ignorance is the result of tamas. But pain is the result of rajas, and ignorance is the result of tamas. Learned people say that the result of proper action done is connected to sattva and is pure, namely a result that is free from any distress. Full stop. But pain is the result of rajas and ignorance is the result of tamas. Full stop. Tattvat sanjayate jnanam
तत्त्वात् सञ्जायते ज्ञानम्
rajaso lobha eva cha
रजसो लोभ एव च
प्रमादमोहौ तमसः
प्रमादमोहौ तमसः
भवतो ज्ञानमेव च
भवतो ज्ञानमेव च
सत्त्वात् सञ्जायते ज्ञानम्
सत्त्वात् सञ्जायते ज्ञानम्
रजसो लोभ एव च
रजसो लोभ एव च
प्रमादमोहौ तमसः
प्रमादमोहौ तमसः
भवतो ज्ञानमेव च
भवतो ज्ञानमेव च
So continuing the same topic of phalam, what is the result in the life of a person with a particular predisposition. And so, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. That from that Sattva Guna Pradhana Purusha, that person is going to love to know. Love to know things, not anything also. It starts out with anything. Love to know in general. I want to know more and more how things work and how animals live in the wild and what is the ecology all about. How are we impacting society and how? So much is there to know. And so anything, and then slowly, of course, it gets honed. It prioritization happens, and so there also knowledge is there. I need to know things that are really relevant to my life, and so which make a fundamental difference to my life. And so Sattvat Sajjayate Jnanam. And initially, spiritual material also is there, and material becomes slowly becomes spiritual knowledge. And then Rajasaha Lobhaha Evacha.
Guruji, can we say Atma Jnanam there?
Not necessarily. So eventually Atma Jnanam, that's what I was trying to say. Knowledge in general. And finally Atma Jnanam. Spiritual means Atma Jnanam. Yes, that's what we mean by spiritual. Because that person is going to get exposed. Because there will be certain situations which will occur in the person's life. And then the person will make sense out of it. And then say, okay, this is interesting. I need to pursue that. Bhagavad Gita or whatever. So that will take the person to Atmajnana. Because it is challenging. It's challenging. Therefore, and that person loves a challenge. And so that person will automatically go there. Rajasaha Lobaha Evacha. And what about the person with Rajas predisposition? Then Lobaha. Lobaha. So greed. And that greed is very interesting. So it just consumes the person, but it doesn't allow the person to think differently at all. And every situation is looked at as an opportunity. Opportunity. And at home also, where father is in the deathbed and these people are fighting for their shares. For their share, Mera kahan hai? How come you did this to me, dad? So that becomes the most important thing in life. And so this there's no end to greed at all. Rajasaha, Lobaha, Eva. And that's why Prarthana and all is so important. You see how it's all coming. There is really nothing to change our situation. We are not going to listen to anybody. We are not going to listen to anybody at all. And so some situation has to happen somehow. Somebody appears, some friend, you listen to some friend and say, yeah, really? Is that what you're doing? Ah, it's interesting. So somewhere somebody comes and says, and then suddenly I feel like listening to that person. Okay. And some book somewhere, some Swamiji came, something happened, some magic has to happen in life. And so Tripti is not there. Lobaha, Pramada Mohau Tamasaha Bhavataha Ajnanam Evacha. Similar idea here also. Tamasaha, Tamas Pradhana Purushasya Karmanaha Phalam. What is it? Pramada Mohau. Pramada, we know that. Error, repeated error. To err is human, then to repeatedly err is what? Right? So, indecision, oversight, omissions, constantly, not even worried about one's actions, impacts of one's actions, consequences, nothing. Just bulldoze one's way through and continue to be careless. And therefore, moha can continue to be confused, deluded, and therefore, ajnana mevacha, perpetuation of the same slothful life. And so here Swamiji brings up the point of, he's going to tell later, Krishna is going to tell later. Different types of sattvam also. So he will give some examples like dhanam. Dhanam. Dhanam means to give. One gives, helps somebody, helps others. The nature of helping others is called dhanam. And so there also there is satvikam dhanam. What is satvikam dhanam? It is to be done by me, therefore I do it. That's it, over. Then what about rajasika dhanam? I do it so I can become more famous because of that. I can get some recognition. I can get something, They say in when we are supposed to give receipt for donations, we are supposed to say nothing was received. No services were provided. We are supposed to say, because it is not supposed to be payment for services. It is just pure dhanam, and so the person expects something out of it, and so that's called rajasika dhanam. Then tamasika dhanam. Don't ask. Harassment. I gave you so much money. What is this? After he gave 100 rupees long ago, and so he is harassing me for it now. And so that is called tamasika dhanam. And so likewise, love also. Unconditional love, this unconditional love. Okay, that is sattvika. Then love with an intention to control. Control. I love you, therefore you must listen to me. Okay, that's called rajasika. Then tamasika, converting the love into hatred. Just strangulate the person completely. Don't allow the person to live. It's called tamasika. Prema is there, love is there. Every human heart has love. Okay, and so we have to grant that. So like that, all these variations are going to come later. So let's look at the translation of this one. Knowledge is born out of sattva. Knowledge is born of sattva or out of sattva, comma. Greed is born out of rajas. Semicolon. Negligence and delusion. Negligence and delusion along with ignorance. Negligence and delusion along with ignorance are born out of tamas. Knowledge is born out of sattva. Greed is born of rajas. Negligence and delusion along with ignorance are born out of tamas. 18th shloka. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थाः
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थाः
मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः
मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः
जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः
जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः
अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः
अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थाः
ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्थाः
मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः
मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः
जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः
जगन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः
अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः
अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः.
So here Sri Krishna is again talking about gati. So pralayam gatva. So after death what happens? That idea is again mentioned here. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastaha. Sattvastaha means people who are predominantly sattvic, who have that disposition. Sattva pradhana purushaha urdhvam gachanti. Urdhvam. This is a typical expression in our Shastra. Urdhvam gachanti. They go up. It's a literal meaning. They go up. So, you know the 7 up and 7 down. So, of the 7 up, the Bhuloka is one of them. So, 6 up are there. And so, they go to better lokas. They gain better experiences. They go to worlds which help them become better also. Okay? So, we should look into that. They go to better worlds means what? Better experiences, pleasurable experiences, okay. But that's not the goal of a sattvic life. So it should make them go towards Atma Vidya, okay. It should take them there. So, Urdhvam Gachanti, Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha. Look at how long the journey is. To come to Brahma Vidya, just look at all the games we play and how many janmas we have to spend just living. Madhye Tishtanti Rajasaha. Okay. So, Madhye, among all these world's experiences, the average experiences are there. Madhye, and those kinds of worlds, they stay put. They stay right where they are. They don't make any progress, and hopefully they won't go backwards also. Jaganya guna vrittisthaha. So this tamasaha adhogachanti. So these tamasaha, these people who are tamas predominant, they are who? They are called jaganya guna vrittistaha. Vrittistaha. They have vrittis, means they are given to. They are what kind of thoughts they are given to? You ask. Vritti means thought. What kind of ideas they have? Jaganya, Jagani, Jagan, not Jagan, not Jagat Jagan. This is Jagan. Comes from the dhatu han dhatu. Nayam hantina hanyate, that dhatu han. Killing and hurting. That is the meaning of the word. That is the meaning of Jagani. Jagani, Gunavrithistaha. They are given to hurting people, hurting things. They don't understand the impacts of their actions, and they just they continue with that kind of a behavior, hurtful behavior. And so, such people, they are called tamasaha. And where do they go? Adhogachanti. Adhogachanti. They go down. They go down. So, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, and all there is. Big list of 7. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Prasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Patala. Like that they say. So, it's another, this experiences, very traumatic experiences. Just life is just, every day is just, is just difficult to live. Every day is difficult to live. Now, a Satvika Pradhana Purusha also can have a very painful life because the body is going through a lot of pain. Okay. That is painful life. That's okay. Whatever karma has to be exhausted is being exhausted. Okay. But the person doesn't think the life is, doesn't judge life based on that. Because Sattva is there. Atma. So Atma, this Atma Drishti, the person is looking for. So that person has a direction in life. Even though the body is undergoing a lot of pain, okay, but here emotional trauma, pain, and just there is no stability at all. So adhogachanti, and so here Swamiji reminds us that this up and down, etc., should not be literally taken as a spatial up and spatial down, and they're all, because these are all experiences, and so these worlds you can't even assess a world. You cannot say, suppose I say Give me directions to go to my dream world. Give me directions to go to my dream world. How? Directions to go to your dream world means what? Yeah, I had a great dream last night. And so I want to go back to the dream. I want to go to that world. You can't go. You can't go. Because the dream space, dream time, dream world is entirely a different realm altogether, which is unconnected with this waking world. Okay, totally unconnected. Really speaking, there's no connection. There is no connection at all. So the dreamer's access and the waker's access are all entirely different. There's no connection at all. And and so and time access is also very different. What takes a certain time in this life, waking life, right? So it takes so many years to get a high school degree, then so many years for a college degree, then so many years to get married, this, that, etc. That's some idea we have, an idea of time. But in waking world, in the dream world, they say it all happens very fast, super fast. Within 2 minutes, within 3 minutes, there's REM and all. Within 3 minutes, the entire life has been led from birth to current. Correct? How fast 60 years happens in 3 minutes. That's how fast it's happening. So where is the question? Even time scales, no comparison. Our pitris, we give, shraddha when we do to our pitris once a year. So their time scale is like that. From breakfast to lunchtime is our 1 year. Fortunately, once a year only we have to feed them, Otherwise, what will happen? We'll start fighting with them. Hey, wait a minute. My own stomach problem I have, and you're also, I have to feed you also, We'll start fighting. So, fortunately, the time scales are very different. And so, urdhvam can be anything in this life itself. Those days, I remember they used to say, Germany, they have Autobahn. Autobahn means highways where you can there's no speed limit, it seems. Is there really no speed limit? A road a highway with no speed limit? Oh, I see. We used to wonder what is all this. And so it's all there. You go to America, you go to highways. America a bit sad. The highways are there, but suddenly there'll be a speed limit. You want to cross the speed limit, suddenly there's a speed 70. And then you have to stop. After 70, you can't go. And if you go, then you potentially get into trouble. And so it's life. Life is like that. When I first went to the US, I went and stayed in a dormitory. I had a roommate. He was a Caucasian, white Caucasian, Richard Zumsky. He was doing a master's in mechanical engineering. And I went there and we were talking. And I wanted to. So he goes to the restroom and gets a glass of water and drinks it. I asked him, what? You got water from the restroom and you can drink it? Yeah. Is that wrong? I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm asking you. He said, we don't do that in India. In India, you don't go to the restroom and pick up water in a glass. That's all it is. I'm coming from a different country altogether, other side of the earth. And so this is the argument, this is the discussion we are having. Okay. And so then he said, oh, I see. Drinking water. You can drink any water coming from any faucet. That's it. Period. Urdhvam. Urdhvam. I've come to heaven. Correct? So this is anybody. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so that's what is being said here. Similar idea was talked about. So let's translate it. Sattvic people reach higher quality lokas. Sattvic people reach higher quality loka. So instead of saying higher loka, what I'm saying here is higher quality loka. So that we don't do a spatial imagination. Full stop. Rajasic people remain in the middle. The tamasic people abiding by the functions, tamasic people abiding by the functions of the lowest guna. Abiding by the functions of the lowest guna, go to lower quality lokas. Go to lower quality lokas. Sattvic people reach higher quality lokas. Full stop. Rajasic people remain in the middle. Full stop. Tamasic people abiding by the functions of the lowest guna, go to lower quality lokas. Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram
नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारम्
yada drashtanupashyati
यथा द्रष्टानुपश्यति
gunebhyascha param vetti
गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति
madbhavam sodhigacchati.
मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति
Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram
नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारम्
yada drashtanupashyati
यथा द्रष्टानुपश्यति
गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति
गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति
मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति.
मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति
So those 5 aspects of the descriptions of gunas are completed here. Now he is going to talk about so what. So what do we learn from this? This analysis of 5 or 3 gunas, what do we learn from that? We learn from that every being in this world is going to be endowed with the 3 gunas. Okay. In different compositions, constituents, it will be there. 3 gunas will be there. And what about the human body? Well, human body is what is being talked about. Ahankara was talked about. Mental disposition is what was talked about. All these shlokas. And so, I cannot escape the effect of the 3 gunas. Nobody, no human being can escape it. And so, one can be a sattva guna pradhana. I can strive myself to be a more sattvic person in my behaviors, habits, thinking, etc. That I can strive. But I will still be bound by the 3 gunas. We saw Sattvam also binds. What did we say? Krishna said in that shloka, number 6, Sukha Sangena Badhnati, Jnana Sangena Chanaka. Like that Krishna is saying. That means that desire for knowledge also is a type of bondage. I am not comfortable if I don't know something. Okay, that's a type of bondage. That's good. That's good. That's a good bondage to have, but it's also a bondage. Okay, that's what Krishna had said. And so that bandhana cannot be avoided. Bondage cannot be avoided. And therefore, if at all there is a solution to this, somebody says no, there has to be something where I am not bound. If somebody says that, yes, it's possible. I must somehow unbind myself. I must I must, from Trigunatmika, I have to become Gunatita. Means I must transcend guna, as it were. Okay, I must be somebody who is unaffected by the gunas. But then, ahankara, by definition, being inside the mind, it is going to be part of the composition of this body. And so it is what it is. That cannot be changed. In the sense, it cannot become gunatita. It is in fact, ahankara's claim to fame is that it is so and so, I am so and so. That identity itself is provided by the three gunas. Okay, therefore, ahankara is by nature trigunatmika. It may be sattva pradhana, that's ahankara, that's very good, but still sattva pradhana. And then so therefore, when I say I have to be free from the hold of the three gunas, then of course we have to come back to Atma, that Shakshi, which is the essence of the Hankara itself. The question about who am I has to come. And am I somebody who is bound by the three gunas? That question has to come. Is that my real nature? Have I taken my Ahankara to be the real self? Is there somebody real who is not Ahankara? Ahankara is me. I am not Ahankara. Is there such a statement possible? You ask. Yeah, that is the only possibility that is there. And so instead of asking, how can I become free from the three gunas? Is there a self that is free from the three gunas? That is a better question to ask. And so I have to shift my vision itself here from Kshetra to Kshetrajna. What about Ahankara? Ahankara is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, if somebody asks. Body is Kshetram, idam shariram kaunteya, Kshetramit vidiyate, that we saw. So it is body is Kshetram. What about the mind? Mind also is Kshetram. What about Ahankara? Is it Kshetram or Kshetrajna? It's a very good question. And it sounds like Kshetrajna because I am Ahankara. But that whole identity, everything belongs to me. And that me is Ahankara. If you take away that Ahankara, what is left? Okay, don't worry. Ahankara is needed to lead a life, no doubt. But I am not Ahankara. Ahankara is I, but I am not Ahankara. Okay, that I am not Ahankara means it takes me to Kshetrajna. Kshetrajnanchapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. If I was Ahankara, Krishna cannot make that statement. Kshetrajnanchapi mam vidhi. Because Ahankara is unique to an individual. And there are so many different Ahankaras. And so, for Krishna to say, Kshetrajnanchapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu. I must be somebody that is free from Ahankara, free from the qualities and attitudes and limitations of Ahankara. Free from Ahankara is coming and going. Agama pai, it comes and goes. In deep sleep, it is not there. And so I am not somebody who comes and goes. Okay. So that's the idea here. And so now, instead of saying there is a body and I am located in the body, I Sakshi is located in the body. The Gunatita Sakshi is located in the body. It is better for me to say, I am Sakshi, which has an incidental Sharira, which is gifted with an incidental mind. Body, mind, sense complex is there. Okay, that's a better statement. And so this is the knowledge that Krishna wants us to appreciate when we study the science of three gunas. And so that owning up the self is what is expected here. And so here in this shloka 19, and then next also, gunan etan aditya trin dehi deha samudbhavan. Janma mrityu jara dukhihi vimuktaha amritam ashrute. So these two shlokas are popularly quoted and important in this chapter also. And so it is important for me to, when I say shift the vision, shift the self, means what about all the activity that is going on right now? What about the life I'm leading with so many anxieties are there, ups and downs are there, health is there, and family is there, and this, so much is going on. What about all that? Yeah. So become aware that I am part of this drama. It's like acting a drama. I'm very aware that I am playing a particular skit where I'm given a role. And can I tell myself, this skit is going on right now. I have a particular role to play. I have a role to play. I need to discharge that role properly. And that role, there is some freedom that comes with that role, and that role also comes with certain script which I can't deviate from. And so sometimes, when in these skits you watch, if you're carefully watching what happens, somebody will forget their script. Somebody is stammering, trying to say, and it's not coming out. The right word sentence not coming. Then what happens? The other people will adjust and change their dialogue a little bit and change it completely. And I saw it once. One person responded and said something different, and everybody started laughing. Means the actors started laughing. They are not supposed to laugh. And so, and then we realized, oh, okay, there is something going on. And so sometimes we have to do that also. We have to do that. Somebody is not playing the role or somebody is having difficulty, then we compensate for it. And so that is happening right now. So these three gunas cannot but make me do things in life and make me go through what I'm going through. And so I will use this life to recognize who I am, and that I, which has been given this role at this moment, and I'm just playing the role like that. That kind of a mindset will do wonders to us in our lives. And so that separating the ahankara from atma. Ahankara is needed to lead a life. Ahankara is atma, but atma is not ahankara at all. No, it's not possible. And so, and I recognize that it's the guna that make me pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti, nivritti. That whole activity happens because of these gunas. And I can smile at the gunas. I can just smile at it as it happens to me. I can say, yeah, I am helpless right now. This guna is taking me over. Tamas is taking me over right now. I can't help it. Okay? And so Atma doesn't need to sleep, but I have to sleep. I have to take rest. And so therefore, that kind of a lifestyle, pravritti, indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesho vyavasthita. That is there. Nobody can change that. There are things that I'm going to like. There are things I'm not going to like. That is, nobody is going to change that. Shastram doesn't say you should change all that. No, you can't change it because that is the nature of the guna, is to have a like and dislike. That's it. That is guna. That's a property of the guna. You can't change it. And so now what? Tayorna vashamagachet, to some extent, whatever mastery I can invoke in myself. I can that choice I have. I have the choice to say no. Say no to drugs. Like that, there was a big movement. Say no to drugs. And so it was huge. I don't know how things are these days, but these days they say there's a lot of drugs coming from Mexico and this and that to America and all. I'm hearing all kinds of stories. But India also, the western states are all, Punjab and all, the story is very, very bad. Very bad. The kids are all into drugs and whatnot. And it's depressing because even the experts are saying that. And they're not giving a solution. That's what is little bothersome. And so we have to somehow maintain that, find a way to come out of these addictions. And anyway, here there is a bhokta. There is a bhokta. That's what I was trying to say. There is a bhokta. I have likes and dislikes. So there is a desire for experiences, and it makes me a karta immediately. I must do something to achieve all those things. So this bhoktritvam, kartritvam, that cycle keeps on going. And so we try to invoke that sattviness and help us pierce through this kind of a otherwise mechanical life, otherwise a life of an animal, as the Shastra would say. And in the fifth shloka itself, he had said, Sattvam rajas tama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam abjayam. Nibadnanti is a strong statement he's making. Asmin dehe, in this body, Atma is as though bound. Poor Atma is bound by all this. That's how it is. That's what Krishna is saying. Even though Atma can't be bound, still, Dehinam, Nibadnanti. Dehinam means that Atmanam. So, that is why our analysis of the gunas is useful, so that I can take advantage of those moments where I can enjoy some sattvika disposition. I make use of it. I make use of it. And that's probably why sometimes they say, get up in the morning, early in the morning. Sleep early, get up early. Something like that they used to say. Early to bed, early to rise, like that they say. So because I think the morning time, it's hard to waste time in the morning. And your mind is active. And at that time, you feel like reading something, you read at that time. That 1 hour, you may not get any. Throughout the day, you may not get kind of stuff. So I must. So that's what Shankaracharya says in his Bhajagovindam. Balastavat krida saktaha, tarunastavat taruni sakta. The young boy, Bala, krida, busy playing. Then tarunastavat taruni sakta. Tarunaha means immediately this college and all these kinds of friendships are there. So got lost in friends. And Taruni, he says. And then Vriddhastavat Chinta Sakta. Chinta. Then constantly worrying. Worrying. Hey, life is, everybody's settled. Why are you worrying about your children and grandchildren? Something is there. Some worry is always there. Marriage. This marriage thing, I think we are just stuck with marriage, I think, right? I think it just comes and keeps gnawing at us. It just doesn't leave us. Not our marriage, I mean others' marriages. Our marriage also. And so that Gunati Tattvam is going to come to that topic next. And so we will continue this discussion in the next class. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Namamyaham. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Namamyaham. ॐ आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।